Hello and welcome. I am Arun Kumar from Beautiful Mind IS. We are discussing NCERT Fundamental of Psychology Class 11th. And in this connection, I am going to discuss the next topic, and that is called different branches of psychology. It is given in the textbook. I will show you. But why I am going to discuss this thing? It is not just because it is given, but you should have fundamental knowledge of the branches of psychology and how things will go. Let's have a look on the book and then use this discussion. This lecture will clarify your concepts, and it is not essential to you that you should memorize all these things. Understanding is more important. So you try to understand one by one, and I will not go by sentence by sentence. So that will be very mechanical. We will do conceptual understanding with grounded example, different examples. Okay, let's start. So let me show you the book. Here is the book. I am going to discuss this one, branches of psychology. Branches. Now psychology has evolved in different branches. Now there is a era of specialization. So you might have heard the joke that when a person visited a doctor, he said that I am having pain in left side of the brain. So he said that no, I am specialized of the right side of the brain. Mean that this is the era is of specialization in every field, including medical science, and here behavioral science, that is psychology. So see, when you say the branches of psychology, keep in mind that various specialization, special things are there. So one of the important branch that has emerged is called cognitive psychology. Cognitive psychology. What is cognitive psychology? As I have told you in the previous lecture, that cognitions mean our knowledge and understanding, and cognitive processes are those processes that are involved in knowing and understanding things. Cognitive process, attention, perception, getting memory, retention, so-called memory, thinking, reasoning, all these things are what? Cognitive processes. And that these processes help us to understand the things, knowing and understanding. See, one thing is called perceptual process. You pay attention to something, you perceive something. It is about knowing. When you take information from the environment, what happens? We process those informations, and we make decisions, we think over it. So we analyze. All these things are cognitive processes. So science has emerged, that is called cognitive psychology. So it investigates mental process involved in acquisition, means how you take in information, storage, where we put in information like our memory system, and then processing involved in, manipulations, how we categorize those informations, in different parts, and then transformation of information received from the environment. Means we are not tape recorder. We do not take the information as it. We now we have research evidences that we transform those information in different way to categorize in mind. Cognitive psychology try to understand how we do that with the help of experiments and all this. Get it? Now, the major cognitive processes are this: attention, perception, memory, reasoning, problem solving, decision making, language. All these things are involved in what? Cognitions. Because you know this. One student was asking how language is involved. Language help us to understand the thing, the way you process information. Now linguistic science says that that symbols play a very important role. And there is a person, Benjamin Wark, who said that language may make you inferior in thinking and all. We will discuss in different chapter, but language is also part of cognitions. Anyway, and then basic thing that we study things in lab-like situations. For example, when some problem-solving task is given, then how we think over it, and how we manipulate the things, what kind of biases will show. All these things come under cognitive psychology. But nowadays we conduct experiment in environment also. Environment means field study, not in controlled environments. For example, in real world, suppose when you are taking a decision what to do, for example, Operation Sindoor, should we attack or not? Getting? Plus minus, you think over the pros and cons and everything. So you are involved in decision making. That is a cognitive cycle. That is part of cognitive cycle. So that when we take high stake decision, how do we think about this thing? Daniel Kahneman and Tversky and many other individuals who have been very renowned figure in cognitive psychology have demonstrated that we create, sometimes commit blunder. Sometimes our cognitive biases play very important roles in shaping such decisions. Getting? So just have a look on that. And because this natural setting is involved in conducting research in cognitive science, then for example, how you go and take a decision to buy something, some of your dress, then how you do that things. You are in marketplace, that is a natural field, and how you are thinking over it, price, quality, convenience, what are the factors? Getting? Post purchase guarantee, what are the factors, what matters more? So that when I am observing your behavior and then by analyzing all these things, it is a study of cognitive processes. Getting? And cognitive science will collaborate. Collaborate means work with what? Neuroscience, neuroscientist. Neuroscientist means the scientists that study brain and related nervous system. How our brain system is there. For example, suppose one person is suffering from. There is a movie that the Alzheimer's disease. Recently there was. So Alzheimer's is what? The ability to form new memory, inability. That is a problem. And now progressively this is a degenerative disorder. Means neuroscience has given evidences that there is growing decline in the nerve cells. There is a nerve cell is growingly become dysfunctional. So degenerative disorder. So how we come to know? Problem is memory related, but now you are trying to understand this thing, that what are the neurological factors that is influencing this thing. So neuroscience, when you collaborate with neuroscience, then your understanding is much better than when you do research only in psychology or only in neuroscience. So that is called cognitive neuroscience and psychology collaborate, and neuropsychology. Neuropsychology is the combined things. Likewise, cognitive psychology also collaborate with computer science. Computer, that we have created computer, but computer, how we take in information, how we store, how do we process. Computer also, and nowadays artificial intelligence and all. The computer also become an analogy to understand how our mind works. In coming chapter, memory will come to know there is a theory of Atkinson and Seyfried that is inspired by how computers store information. There is a random access memory. So he visualized like that like random access memory that is that is of short duration. Human also have short-term memory, and long-term memory is something like ROM, that is permanent. So see this thing, we learn from computer also, and computer scientists also learn from psychology. So collaboration with computer science also. So I hope you have understood this thing, and you can go in detail also when we discuss that neuroscience. So many examples you can create. Should I give one more example? Forget about memory. Suppose that you are not able to make a decision, then you can say I'm fearful and all this thing. But neuroscience research have revealed that if there is a damage through case study, there was a person who's accidentally frontal lobe. You can say this one is called frontal lobe, is cortex. This is involved in decision making and higher order mental processes, so called executive function, decision making, analysis. Finally you do this from there. This area was damaged, and his decision making capability was grossly impaired after the accident, when that caused one rod became inserted from this side and came out from this. This area was this. So on the basis of this case, scientists correlated that okay, this biology, this area is very important thing in decision making and all this. You are getting? Likewise, you can think of many examples. Now come forward. Biological psychology is another extension of that. Biological means there is a link between brain and behavior. So suppose you are happy. So oxytocin, endorphin, serotonin, these are the brain chemicals and all these things, so-called neurotransmitters that and hormones that play very important roles in your pleasure. Now you think mood is okay. So mood is governed by that biological thing. So what is psychology is ultimately biology. Many biological psychologists believe. So they have this perspective. So biological psychology is that they study gene also. That how some people have genetic relations, means cheerful type individuals, means cheerful gene. Second, very sad type of gene, means most of the time person is sad. So this is a genetic trait, which means gene means seed of the individual. Just a plant mein hota hai, that is a seed that will reflect in quality. That inherent material is responsible for the mood that you are showing. So now we have research finding that says that yes, gene play a very important role in many disorders. Okay? You may behaviorally, suppose you are introvert. Suppose you can say that because of learning, because of the upbringing. But now we have very convincing research finding that this has genetic correlations. Means it is often found that through research that if parents are introvert, their offspring are also introvert. And we will discuss in next chapter that how this research is conducted and how it become convincing thing that it is because of gene, not because of the treatment given by the parents and all. Both are important thing, but this play very important. So introversion and extroversion to great extent is influenced by gene. So gene is also part of biological psychology. See this thing, biological psychology focuses on the relations between behavior and the physical system, including brain and the rest of the nervous system, the immune system and genetics. Genetics is that, whatever talk. Biological psychologists often collaborate with neuroscientists, geologists, anthropologists. You are getting? Anthropologists. They study culture and civilizations. Getting? So how culture shape our personality. For example, you want to study. So you can borrow knowledge from that. You often get idea, secondary data from that individuals, that how cultural differences are there. Cross-cultural comparison when you do, Triandes, Half Street, these are the, you can say, anthropologists. They provided data that become very valuable things for psychology. So psychologists, in order to understand that how culture influences personality. Suppose we are from the Eastern world, so we say collective society, American, European, individualistic. What is this? Actually, this is cultural orientation, and this culture also shape our personality. But how you come to know? By collaborating with anthropologists and all these things. That is why anthropologists. To what extent we are like animal geologist? Neuropsychology has emerged a field of research where psychologists and neuroscientists are working together. I have already discussed this thing, so I need not to repeat. Okay. For example, neurology, PET scan, CT scan, you have idea. So neuroimaging very brain imaging techniques are there. You know that our brain uses glucose for energy, or all body uses, but including brain. So now we can picturize that. Suppose you are solving something verbal. Which part of the brain is more active? Depending upon the glucose consumption, there is a patches. You can say MRI and PET scan. Then there is patches. That patches will tell you that where glucose consumption is more. Suppose left side of the brain is more active. You can say left side of the brain is verbal. When we are solving verbal problems, so this brain is active. So we have reason to believe that this part is verbal by nature. Getting something like that. So many brain imaging technique has demystify and revealed many mysterious aspects of the brain, and that is enriching the knowledge of the psychology. Okay, so one by one we are getting simple. When term is there, EEG, electroencephalogram. Have you heard about the lie detection machine? Getting lie detection machine make use of that polygraph test. So polygraph test is what? One test is EEG. EEG means how this brain, how this brain wave is reflecting your what is going inside. Forget about polygraph test. That will be a more complex example. Where you can take simple example when you are dreaming and when you are awake and when you are in deep sleep. See how brain wave pattern changes. Alpha wave, beta wave, gamma wave. Suppose you are in deep sleep, then brain wave will become what? High voltage, low frequency. I will show you this one. See, suppose this is the EEG. You might have seen EEG or ECG, something. So this is called frequency, and this amplitude is called this distance is called amplitude, and this is about how depth is your sleep, and this is frequency. This count is frequency. So high voltage. High voltage is connected with this amplitude. Getting? Now I am giving you this one. One graph is like that. This is called beta wave. Beta wave means when high frequency is high and voltage is low. So when you are awake, then this kind of thing will come. Alpha, beta, like that. But suppose wave is like this. See? This count is less, frequency is low, and this one is high, means with a high voltage. Voltage reflects on you are in deep sleep. So by analyzing the pattern of EEG, I can tell you, but we can tell you whether you are relaxed from inside, you are in sleep, or you are awake, everything. So see this wave is reflecting your mental conditions. So this is the way to enter your mind. Brain cannot be studied directly. So this way, I hope you have understood. Come forward. So again, I hope you have understood this. Come to developmental psychology. When you will read, you will understand everything. So biological psychology, neuropsychology, all these things are related, but there is certain differences. Should be aware. Now here is developmental psychology. What is developmental psychology? Let me tell you one thing. Means when this is age, suppose age, this individual will grow. So there comes what? Changes. Changes comes, and this change is what? Psychological, social, physical. Your body undergo change, the way you think undergo change, your relations, how you relate with people undergo change. Developmental psychology try to understand these changes, what changes come. For example, in old days, what happens to your reasoning power? It declines, it improves, or it remains the same. Try to understand. So it is a concern of developmental psychology. How relationship changes with time, how our physical changes influences other aspects. So these things not in isolation, in connection. But yes, Jean Piaget studied that how we think about something, how we perceive about something at the age of 2, 5, 8, 12, how we reason about something undergo changes, and he came up with Jean Piaget theory of cognitive development. But actually he underscored one thing, that the way we think about something, we understand, a child understands something, the way he understands, a child understands at the age of 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. At different age and stage, this way of understanding undergoes changes. It is not the same. See, so this is the matter. So to what gets changed and what remain the same is changes and continuity is the focus of developmental psychologists. Developmental psychology. In the beginning, people thought that development take place up to adolescent, 12 years, or for that matter. Nowadays, it is that life is a full journey, and all different sort of development come throughout the life. Erickson came up with a psychosocial model of personality development. He said that from birth till death, development comes. Some development is very visible, some is latent, or you may not notice, but it is there. So see, developmental psychology is all about, suppose you are a psychologist, so your interest will be in change, how you change over time, what things remains same and what undergoes change. This is the focus of developmental psychologist. Understood? So very interesting area. If you read this thing, very interesting thing. All these things are how culture, environment, everything is given. Getting? Social psychology. I'm giving you a branch. Why? See, these are the specializations. Initially, only psychology was there. 1879, William Wundt. Structuralism, only psychology, conscious, they study psychology, conscious experience, how, what are the structure of conscious experience. That by that time, different kind of consciousness. When you are thinking, you are in love, then what kind of things is, how your consciousness is there. When you are angry, how your consciousness is there about something. This kind of was realized. But nowadays, things are very developed and specialized. So, social psychology is what? How your behavior, means individual behavior, is influenced by the group in which he or she lives. Means, suppose you are a person, you think, reason about something, but when you think as a member of a community, see, member of society, other people are there, then how your thinking is influenced, how your decision making is influenced. Many researchers are there that when we behave in group, our behavior is influenced by social factors. Very simple example, that triplet was one person who conducted a research in psychology. He said that our performance, when you are performing alone and when with your friend, suppose you are doing cycling and all these things, see, this influence will come. Just because other people is there, your behavior will be influenced. So how social factor influence the way we think, the way we feel, the behave, all these things is the subject matter of social psychology. Getting? So this is the specializations. For example, you might have noticed, I have noticed that suppose I stop my car at just before zebra crossing, and then second car comes and follow the rule, and just before zebra crossing, the third car which is coming from behind, probability is much higher that he will also obey the rule, because two cars are already there, except the person is psychopath type. Okay, but suppose that you took the car on the zebra crossing, or in front, you cross the zebra crossing at the red light. Other person come who is at that person is just behind the zebra crossing. The third car may or may not follow that traffic rule. He will also, he might go up to that level. So how other people are doing something influences the way we behave. And this is the reason that one person who is in Dubai will follow every rule and regulation. The same person will come in India and then see the behavior. See, in Dubai, the surrounding and social situation and law and all, and here social situation and law and all. See how things are changing. So social. Getting conformity will show or not depends upon who are around you. Now cross-cultural and cultural psychology is like that. That cultural, anthropological psychology, I said, how culture influences our behavior. Take the marriage related decisions. Who decides? In India or Japan, for Japan, say this Eastern world, you will find family influences more. But go in Western part of the country, globe, you will find that person think that this is my decision. Why my father, my mother will make influences in that. So there they feel independence, for that thing. Growingly, we are like culture is now interacting because of the globalization, all technology and all this thing. So we are influenced by that thing. But I am telling traditionally, and this happens. But in collective society, if you take your decision that I will do marriage, suppose intercaste marriage, see the resistance that will come from this. So here, you want to do, you love that person, but you will not do that thing because of the cultural factor, because what my family thinks, what my community member thinks, many things comes in that. सबसे बड़ा रोग क्या कहेंगे लोग? You are getting. So cultural psychology, how our values, our norms, the practices influences our behavior. Cultural and cross-cultural means when we compare two cultures. So suppose I was discussing this problem with a student from different countries because I have been in American Embassy School for some time for a project like related things. Then I saw that their reasoning about something that have influence of culture was quite different. One person from suppose Japan, one person from India, one person from UK. They do not think about the same thing in the same way. There are differences. So influence of cultural values. Now, in one video I have on YouTube, you can see this thing, that socio-cultural perspective on behavior. I have given very interesting example. You should watch. Anyway, environmental psychology, very simple. Environmental psychology, I can tell you. See, that human being and environment. Suppose. So, there exists relationship, reciprocal relationship between environment, physical environment I am talking about, and individual. What we do influences the environmental thing, and our environment will also influence our behavior. What happens in Delhi? The moment you get leave and all, you will see in Nainital area or in Uttarakhand, the whole city get choked because of the pressure of the tourists. Why they go in, hilly? Because they feel this is suffocated. So many pollutions. So they think how pollution is driving you that at the weekend or at vacation, I must go outside Delhi, enjoy that. See this environmental factor. Pollution is making a difference. Too much temperature, too much cold, temperature is down. Then that also influences this. Many of my friends from South India say that, sir, should I take center in Delhi or because in winter it is too cold, I was laughing that because of that thing, because we are habituated, but they think that temperature is extreme. So see how your how this temperature is influencing the decision and behavior of the individual. I hope you are getting this point. So environmental psychology is all about what? That how our this relationship, how human behavior influences environment, and how environment influences human behavior. When you will go in environmental psychology chapter, when you will go in that, you will find Brain-Brenner model. Brain-Brenner model. He said that environment is very something like concentric thing. See, microsystem, mesosystem, exosystem is multi-layered environment. He conceptualized. So what is happening in a space, what is happening in Australia, that will also influence your behavior in India in larger sense. But immediate environment is your own surroundings. But suppose something happens in atomic bombing in Ukraine, or suppose for Russia war, then that will affect the whole world in some way, directly and indirectly. So this is the thing, that this environment, different layer of environments are interconnected. Braun-Fenn-Brainer model. You will study at the higher level. Anyway, come here. So I hope you are getting this point. Health psychology. I am giving you basic idea at the level of NCERT. I can discuss a lot of things just on social psychology or environmental psychology. That maybe is a good chapter. And when I will do, then you will see that we can go in different theory, different model, different research studies. But here I am giving you outline of that thing as it is given in this. Health psychology focuses on the role of psychological factor like your stress in anxiety in developing and prevention and treatment of illness. Health psychology. See, psychosomatic disorder. Have you heard this name? Psychosomatic means something is in mind. Suppose a stress is in mind, and it influences your physical things, physical health. Many individuals, I have a student, she developed peptic ulcers because of the chronic stress. Many medication came, but ultimately, problem was there because of the stress. So now there is growing development, and even doctor believe that we provide multidimensional treatment, because just medicine will not help. Sometimes meditation will also help. Getting medicine and meditation means, here I am giving you slang language. Meditation here is psychotherapy. Something is in mind. See, your mind, positive thinking, hypothalamus will influence endocrine system, pituitary gland, oxytocin release, and then pleasure. But same mind can say it is very stressful situations. Then many stress hormones will release and will go to the adrenal gland. Adrenaline will release, adrenal cortex, adrenal medulla. Many things are there, and those stress hormones will cause differences in your blood chemistry that will affect your white blood cell, red blood cell, and your immune system may be affected. Getting? So, mean to say that our thought, our mind, what is happening inside, there is no clear-cut evidences that it influences our physical health. Getting? So, you are suppose you feel that I can change this thing, I have control over this thing. So, and second thing, you feel helpless, anxious, stressful. What would be the impact of this thing? That has repercussion for your health and happiness. Getting? So, in health psychology, research is conducted that how our mental health, or so-called our lifestyle. Main thing means, I am talking about the stress-related things, how our anxiety level influences our health. So, these are the things. If you want example, diabetes. Diabetes is a very important thing. You cannot control just through medication. You need to be, mentally healthy also. So, positive thinking and diabetes control is correlated. You can think of many examples. Even peptic ulcer is also there. Many physical things which is affected through this. Health psychology is very emerging field. And clinical and counseling psychology. Clinical and counseling psychology. See, what is clinical psychology? Suppose you have some problem and now it is severe time. So, okay, psychotherapy will be required. So, but at the level of counseling, when you go, then it is a more like prevention. In the beginning, when things are mild to moderate, you make intervention and you try to find out that what kind of, for example, what kind of mental processes, what kind of attitude you have, that is influencing your lifestyle, that is influencing your behavior and health and happiness and everything. Suppose you have in a mind you have one thing, that I want to make every person happy. I should become like this kind of person, that everybody will be happy on the earth. Then what would happen? in course of time, your health will be worse. Why? Because you cannot make everybody happy. Because you will follow some morality, some principles. George Bernard Shaw say, if you do not have enemy, it means you do not have character. The moment, see, when you follow certain things, then those individuals who do not believe in that principles and who have problem with following that principles, they will become your enemy, critics. So how will you make those person happy? So this beliefs is very dysfunctional. Who will identify in counseling psychology? They will identify this thing, counseling and what is the difference? Clinical psychology is deeper one. Here, counseling and psychotherapy also will work with the psychiatrist in coordination with psychiatrist, means MD degree or plus MBBS degree plus MD in the psychiatry. So they provide medicine, and clinical psychology will provide counseling and psychotherapy. But in counseling psychology, it is lighter. It is lighter mode. You just try to find out the dysfunctional thought, the beliefs, and many of the things, attitude, and depending upon the model, you try through. You can say that it is a talking therapy because it is in mind. Problem is in mind, and you try to find out through your skill, so-called diagnostic counseling. You try to find out what is the root cause of this problem. Usually, I also give counseling in that way. So that you can say very, very important thing. Suppose so many examples are given. What is the function? See, everyday functioning will improve, and you will come to know that how to deal with the situation. So this you should read this. Same thing will come. I am saying psychiatrist is different and all. The degree is different. If you are a clear psychologist, then you have master degree, MA or MSc, and then you go at the level of PhD and all these things. Then, but psychiatrist, that one is that we cannot provide medicine, but you can do psychological testing. Psychiatrist, MBBS degree, then MD in psychiatry. That person can provide medicine, have knowledge of psychotherapy, will not have time to do extensive psychotherapy. So they take help of clinical science, they work together. Anyway, here is in organizational psychology, at the workplace, what motivates you to work? Salary or something else? There was a research that at the workplace, we require salary definitely. But whether you like that work or not, whether you have that skill to perform at that work or not. So overall your work satisfaction will be influenced by not only salary, but your liking for the work, skill for the work, and colleague that you have over there, your supervisor or so-called manager or so-called higher authority, that also have influence on the work. So job satisfaction, initially it was thought that only salary. Okay. But deeper research in organizational psychology revealed that no, it is not just salary, but other factors as well that influences the behavior of individual at the workplace. So organizational psychology studies that how person's behavior in organization are influenced by different factors. For example, promotion policy. Suppose it is transparent, well defined, or second thing is that it depends upon the mood of the boss. See this thing, how your behavior will be affected, how committed you will feel for the organization, how dedication you will show in the work. Everything is related to this, and related theories are there. Let me go tell you, MacGregor has given theory X, theory Y, that if you want to get your work done, you pressurize the worker, create fear, then they will work, because people inherently do not want to work. This was the idea. Second, that but people who are educated or aware or well developed in mind, through minds, then they may like doing work. So this is called theory Y. So theory X, theory Y, which one is correct? You can say that if person is not willing to work, not educated, and only they work for just for salary, then theory X works well. But if you are a higher executive and if you are aware that we are doing work because organization is giving me something and you are taking interest, you have talent also, then theory why is there? Pressure will not work. Sometimes persuasion and respect will give same productivity. Get it? So this we study organizational psychology under organizational psychology, all these things under that. So I hope you have understood this thing. I am giving you a rough idea, basic idea that what is this thing. And when you will read this thing, how organizational communication, manager, staffs, everything will be there. You will study that how within organizational communication. Suppose what is upward communication, downward communication. Suppose you have some grievances, no one is there to listen your grievance. Then how you will feel in organization? This is about the communication and all this. We studied that organizational. This one is the last one, educational psychology. See, the educational psychology, it about that, for example, what kind of syllabus should be there at the class 6th, at class 8th and class 9th. See, and at class 3. Can you teach conservation principle at class 3? Because you have many research that shows that no, a child will not be able to understand conservation principle at the age of 3. So it is the educational psychology who contribute with other individuals in framing syllabus of the thing. So what will be the instructional design? Verbal, visual, both. What will be the instructional design learning? Who decide? Oh, educational psychologists contribute from their expertise. Getting? So you will read this thing. And the related thing may be school psychology. School psychology is work when a student is having some problem, then he will make use of all the counseling skills and all the psychological skill to diagnose the problem of the, for example, learning disability. Many teachers say that this child is not sincere, this child is not sincere, but just because of the teacher is not aware that there is something called learning disability. In the past, nowadays, because of training, things are improving. Then they will create pressure on the parents that your child is not sincere, he doesn't write well, practice is needed, but he is very ignorant of this thing. So school psychologists make her aware that don't do that kind of things. Tare Zameen Pe, you might have remembered, recall that movie. I'm giving an example. That was the things that it was not a deliberate thing, that there was some problem in the brain. Sports psychology, now this is a growing field. It say that how behavior of a sports person is influenced by psychological factor. For example, fear can influence the performance. People think that as a sports psychologist will teach cricket. No, he might not be aware of the cricket fully. He is aware that how your anxiety, how your stress, how your mental condition is influencing your performance in sports. So, sports psychologists work with player in coordination with the coach. Coach will teach you how to play cricket, but psychologist will teach you how to manage stress. There was a case that Sachin Tendulkar was given a tag nervous 90 that time. Because of the stress, he was, 90 plus. When the score is 90 plus, he used to become very nervous, and that is why he took, several months or year to complete the 1000th century or 100th century, something like that. Then one psychologist helped that person. Then why you focus on the consequences? There are two kind of goals: consequences and performance. Why you focus? Why you make outcome goals? Why you think that this is going to be the great century? Focus on the ball, a specific ball that is coming, and concentrate over there. So if you shift your focus, shift your attention, shift your mind onto that performance goal, then you learn that how this kind of ball should be played in grammar, cricket grammar. You make use of that thing. Why you are worried about the consequences? Gita principle, karmanyeva adhikaraste ma philosophy kadachina. So focus on that one. And same that African psychologist, I think, and after that he became successful in scoring 100. Getting? So psychologists provide different tools and techniques by taking, so for example, upright posture. Suppose you are nervous, then if you do this kind of posture and this kind of posture, where you will feel more positive, upright, like erect posture. So this has been taken from military psychology. So sports psychology is a very interdisciplinary field where it borrows knowledge from different fields and then apply to improve the performance of the sports person, whether it is a single individual game or team game. Okay, so something like that. If you read all these things, other fields are there, you will find that different branch is there. Engineering psychology, then military psychology, then many fields are there. These are emerging fields. See, specialization is a matter of interest. So you do a specialization, and specialization means general and then specialized. So specialization is, this is the era of specialization. You will find in coming days forensic psychology. See this, that how criminals thinks, how you can make use of some other behavioral things, to catch the criminals. They work with in collaboration with police and all this. They assist police in that case. So many things are there. So I hope you have understood this thing, that there are different branches of psychology that have different focus, and they may vary, that they are very pure or they are very applied or they collaborate with others. Getting, and they often collaborate with others, and then what is the resultant? What is the outcome? That yes, we different field, different knowledge, and it overall they add to the overall understanding of behavior and mental processes, which are the subject matter of psychology. I hope this lecture will help you understand the basic thing, that what are the different branches of psychology. In the next class, I will discuss something else. Thank you very much. I hope this general lecture will help you understand the outline of different branches of it. You can delve into it at the deeper level. Getting? Thank you.